May I come in, sir? Good morning,
Come in,
sir.
please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Take your seat, please.
Thank you, sir.
Ankita, you are from you are from Chandigarh.
Yes, sir.
You also have some connection with Sirsa. You are seeing your some connection with Sirsa?
Sir, I was born in Sirsa.
Born in Sirsa. Okay, right now you are in Danix. You have been posted or you are still waiting for posting?
Sir, I'm undergoing training. So we have 2-year training and 1 year is done.
Okay, fine. Now, Sirsa is, since your body of Samad mentioned, Sirsa has become famous, infamous for some reason. What is the reason for Sirsa being in the limelight or not in the limelight? Not this thing, but generally, a lot of people know about Sirsa. So, is there any reason for Sirsa being so prominent in national?
Sir, Dera Sacha Sauda basically is based in Sirsa, where Ram Rahim, who is leading it, so it's mostly infamous because of that.
No, Ram Rahim leading, that is why it is infamous, or there is some reason why Ram Rahim is not really considered as a paragon of virtue or paragon of the sainthood, or what is the reason?
Sir, he was involved in cases of sexual abuse and even the rape cases.
Okay, now that was of course in the past. He has been convicted.
Yes, sir.
And he has been put behind bars also.
Yes, sir.
Judicial system has seen it.
Yes, sir.
But recently, in fact, this is also coming in newspapers and this thing, that Ram Rahim is getting a lot of paroles for good behavior or God knows what.
Yes, sir.
So there is a lot of explanations by the state governments, by everybody. So do you think a self-styled guru convicted on serious charges, these are serious charges of murder and rape and molestation and disappearance of evidence, there should be given such frequent paroles? If you think it should be, then why? And if you think no, then why not?
Sir, it's true that he has been convicted of very grave charges, and the court has even given the punishment. But sir, for bail there are certain conditions, and for parole, sorry, there are certain conditions, and if he is fulfilling those, then he can be released. But again, sir, we need to make sure that he does not tamper with evidence, or even when he is outside, he does not commit some.
No, these newspaper reports say that when he comes out, he has massive gatherings, and then he's Janamdeen and so many deens. He's being celebrated by his very, very enthusiastic followers across political parties, across all sections of the society, and he simply doesn't go and quietly spend his days, but he's actually is a very, very public spectacle all over Haryana and maybe in Punjab.
Yes, sir.
So this is what the report says. So against this backdrop, do you think that it was a justified action on the part of the state government to give him paroles, so frequent paroles?
Sir, I have to check the conditions on which basis the parole is given. But again, some conditions can be put on the parole, that he could not have such rallies or address such mass gatherings.
Okay,
yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Okay, Ankita.
Yes, sir.
73rd and 74th Amendment.
Yes, sir.
These amendments have secured the political decentralization.
Yes, sir.
But administrative decentralization, that dream is yet to be fulfilled. What is your comment on this, and how these amendments can become effective?
So the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments helped in bringing the grassroots democracy to the people, and it has strengthened the local bodies and even the panchayats. So sir, it's true that there has been political decentralization, but again, for administrative decentralization, we need to have a greater transfer of funds, because there is lack of funds with these bodies.
Yeah.
And again, many of the functions are not being transferred to these local bodies because the state does not want to give up on those parts.
So I think you mean to say, in brief,
Yes, sir.
there is the problem of funds, functions and functionaries.
Yes, sir.
Those three
Yes, sir.
categories of problems.
Yes, sir.
And how should they be, what is your recommendation? If you have to recommend, how should they be solved?
So there should be enough grant of funds that should be given to these bodies, like in the State Finance Commission or even in the Central Finance Commission that we have. There is the provision of grants from the center directly to the local bodies.
Right.
And sir, even these bodies should be empowered to generate their own resources. Because
Which they are.
Yes, sir, they are. And they should not always be dependent on the grants on aids. And so for the functions part, like the 12th schedule and the 11th schedule mentions that there are certain provisions that need to be mandatorily done by the local bodies.
But
And
it has not been assigned to them.
Yes,
There is
sir.
a problem of agencyfication.
Yes, sir.
Just read up on that.
Okay.
So that will give you a good perspective.
Sure, sir.
One additional question. In urban local bodies elections, the political parties are allowed to participate.
Yes.
But not so in case of the rural bodies. Should the political parties be allowed to contest directly in those elections as well? What is your view?
Sir, in my opinion, political parties should have this freedom to even participate in the local bodies, because again, if we see that the people from the local bodies again rise to the higher levels, so that can be one factor. And
So it affords an opportunity of political training.
yes, sir.
The participation affords an opportunity of political training to
Yes,
the
sir.
grassroots level
Yes,
participants in democracy.
True, sir.
Okay. Now, Indian constitution is said to be unitary in spirit and federal in nature. Can you please elucidate on this very briefly?
Sir, Indian constitution is very unique in the various aspects. So it has various unitary features, like we have the unitary feature like the emergency provisions, or we have integrated judiciary, independent and integrated judiciary. But at the same time, there are other federal features as well, like we have the Rajya Sabha, which is the Council of States. And sir, it's a mix of both unitary and federal features.
Okay, I will advise just
Yes.
brush it up.
Yes,
You
sir, I
must
need
have,
to.
last time you must have seen it in September. So it's a good idea to just
Yes, sir.
be in touch with it again.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there's a Ukraine war going on.
Yes, sir.
Russia is isolated. The Chinese president went to Russia, visited
Yes.
there. And some kind of a statement or some kind of a message has come out of this visit. So what kind of a message, what do you read in his visit there?
So the Chinese President Xi Jinping, he went with a peace plan to offer a plan to go with the ceasefire between the Russia and Ukraine, and a more dialogue and diplomatic measure should be undertaken to stop the war, because it is not benefiting anyone.
Is that what the message come out of this visit?
Sir, moreover, the message that has come out is that Russia is not isolated, China is on its side, and a new alliance, a Russia-China axis is also being formed.
And India has also been neutral in this war. So with this visit of Chinese president, does it eat into India-Russian diplomatic space?
So that is true, that India has tried to balance between the Western powers and the Russia. And with China growing very close to Russia, it will to some extent affect the Indian relations. But again, the Indian relation goes back to a very long friendship test that has been tested, the test of time. So we do have good cooperation with Russia on various fronts. But we need to again maintain a balance between our relations with Russia.
All right. How long have you done training in Danix?
So 1 year. I joined in March 22.
How are you different today from the day one that you joined?
So I am much more aware about the administration, because when I first joined, I had a very outside view, but now the understanding of various departments or how the whole administration works, I'm more aware of it.
Any surprises that you saw, experienced there from what you expected?
So I've come to realize that especially in Delhi, there is a lot of multiplicity of authorities. Like even for say roads, if we see, there are MCD is looking after roads that are less than 60 feet, and then there's PWD, which is looking after roads which are more than the 60 feet width. So there is a lot of overlap of jurisdictions, and it leads to a lot of confusion. So this thing is something that I've noticed in Delhi, and there should be a better centralized mechanism, at least as far as the administration is concerned.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, given a chance, what would you like to change in Delhi administration?
Ma'am, as I mentioned that there's a lot of
Duplicity.
And multiplicity. So ma'am, there needs to be a streamlining of the authorities. Like in districts, we have a district task force and the subdivision task force, where all these authorities come together to undertake a task. So ma'am, something of this sort needs to be done. Moreover, if we look at, we have 11 districts in Delhi. There are 15 police districts. There are 12 zones of MCD, multiple zones, 8 zones of DDA. So there is no proper streamlining of all these authorities. Like everyone has a different jurisdiction, and it leads to a lot of coordination issues. So ma'am, if given a chance, I would like to work on this to make it better. Yes, ma'am.
What are your proposals to work on it?
Ma'am, so say if we have 11 districts, so it needs to be common across all the different bodies. Say the MCD zones or the DDA zones or the police zones. So all these need to have the common territorial jurisdiction as far as, yes ma'am.
Okay. How do you see the visit of Japanese PM to India in respect of politics?
Yes ma'am. Recently in the G20 finance foreign ministers meeting, Japan was not able to send any of its ministers. So Japanese Prime Minister coming himself sends a very strong message that the ties between India and Japan are equally good. Moreover, it sends a strong message about free and open Indian Ocean region to counter the rising aggression of China. And it shows that India and Japan are good friends and great partners.
Okay. Has RTI improved the administration?
Ma'am, definitely it has helped in bringing more transparency into the systems. And it has helped in the greatest participation of citizens in the administration. So, but at the same time, we see at times the RTI is being used, frivolous RTI cases are there, where multiple RTIs are filed just to harass the officers. So that issue is also there, but at the same time, ma'am, RTI is a great step to bring in more transparency and more accountability of the executive.
Okay. Have you heard of Human Development Index?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to me as a layman?
Ma'am, so Human Development Index deals with the holistic development of a human. So it deals with various aspects from health, education, the living conditions, and the social security part.
Okay. You have given your hobbies as multiple things.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to me some certain items which are given here?
Ma'am, I love doing Japanese mathematical puzzles. So
Okay.
they're like I do a lot of them. So there's Kakuro, there's Hashi, Hitori, Futoshi.
All these are forms of puzzles.
Yes, ma'am. These are the names of puzzle. Like we have Sudoku and crossword puzzles. So these are on that lines only.
Okay. Are you associated with any social work?
Ma'am, no, as such, but we did a lot of volunteering when I was in Oracle. I worked in Oracle for 2 years in Bangalore. So on the weekends, we used to have the volunteering work. So we used to go for teaching students and even for plantations, distributing of, say we would have collections in our office and then we would go and distribute. So all these things we used to do.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ankita,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Is it tough for a working aspirant to manage to qualify this exam?
Ma'am, definitely it requires a lot of hard work and you need to take out every bits and pieces of time that you can find.
But isn't it also like stealing from your job to, do something else, that those are your personal ambitions? Let's say there would be other people in your job who would be just doing this job and pursuing their ambitions in this job only. But then some others who are stealing time from the job and preparing for the exam.
Ma'am, so we do have the provision of EOL, the extraordinary leave. So who are preparing can definitely apply for it. And
have you applied for it?
No, ma'am. Since I'm giving the interview and I just prepare in the morning or the evening part, so I'm not missing out on the training.
That's all right. Ankita, how can we deal with the problem of black money?
Ma'am, black money is a very grave and serious problem for the economy. It leads to a parallel economy as well. To deal with this issue, we need to have greater use of technology. Like we have the UPI in which there is a tracking of the money, or like the RBI is introducing the central bank digital currency where there will be a digital trail of the money. So measures like this can help in preventing the money laundering.
But you see, it's not that just cash is black money. There are so many other methods also of black money. How can technology help us address those?
Ma'am, so a lot of round tripping or these transfer pricing mechanisms are even used by companies to
Don't you think legalizing cryptocurrency will also add to black money?
Ma'am, it can add to black money, definitely, because it's a decentralized currency and once you've bought it, since it's decentralized, you don't have the complete information about who's holding.
Alright, Ankita, you are a student of mathematics.
Yes, ma'am.
And you see, whenever we think of maths, they say that girls are not good at it. But then here's a girl in front of us who is good at it. What worked for you?
Ma'am, I would say that we should not generalize that a particular section or a particular community is not good at doing something. For me, I had this aptitude since the beginning only. I mean, it comes intuitively to me. It is effortless for me. So, plus moreover, if you do some hard work or if you just practice, it comes to you, it starts coming to you naturally. So I think we should not generalize. Moreover,
tell me names of 3 female mathematicians, apart from yourself.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You will be able to think about it. Take a moment.
Ma'am, there's Shakuntala Devi.
Very good.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
It's all right. My last question to you, Ankita, would be, you love to do trekking.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say you're going on a trek. What are 5 essential things that you will pack in your bag?
Ma'am, so the first thing is water, having adequate water. Second is to have some munchies or the protein bars, quick bites during the trek. Third is to carry the sleeping bags. Fourth would be again a plastic bag to collect all the waste that we are generating. And fifth would be adequate layering for the trek.
What about a medical kit?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, then thank you very much. You can wait outside. We will call you back for the feedback.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. May I come in?
Come in, please. Interview is over. Relax. Okay, very nice. When is your interview, Ankita?
Sir, 11th April.
11th April. So there's still time, 2 weeks,
Yes,
I
sir.
suppose. And done mocks earlier also, or first?
Yes, sir.
You have done few mocks earlier.
Yes, sir.
So what were they saying about your general point? I mean, general point about anything else they were saying? I mean, earlier mocks.
Sir, to have more in-depth reading of the topics.
Acha.
Yes, and sir, they even pointed out that at times I don't complete a sentence, so they've asked me to work on it.
No, I mean, knowledge, of course, yes. I mean, little bit of thing today, the constitution, etc. That obviously some gap will always be a vast ocean, so obviously will be there. But many things we could ask also, lack of time, your hobbies, etc. Every single thing, your Japanese only just said, but how someone they can also ask what is the nature of that, of course, a little bit. I mean, we did ask, but and your Danis, of course, have been asked your maths. Can somebody who is good in maths can ask about the higher maths, etc., etc. Because maths is your subject as well as I think you're taken optional also.
So
is
my
maths.
optional is maths.
Well, optional also maths.
Yes,
so,
sir.
so you're of course electrical engineering,
Yes,
but optional is maths. So math is a very strange thing. I mean, normally people don't take maths in optional. Crack that, take maths. So obviously expectation on maths will be higher. So that is one. Some gap, of course, as you said, Sir asked about this. Those will remain. And when you are somebody is asking a question, you don't get into this thing about the nature. Like I asked you about this Sirsa thing. Now you have to say he is a Ramdev, and then of course you have to say why he is Ramdev. So like you say self style something. You have to either you should not overstate something or understate something,
Okay.
and go straight by the points. You have not to qualify that question. Like there's some question which have to qualify, just give an introduction. No introduction is necessary. He's asking a question, just going to the points. So just very quietly listen to the question first. Process in your mind computer the question, few seconds, point wise. Most important point first, the less important, the next important in sequence is the next, the third, fourth, stop. You know where to stop also.
Yes, sir.
And just linger, don't linger, just stop it. If there is some supplementaries or additional things, the questioner will ask you. And then you have the chance to say that. That is of course one. Today you are a little less in energy.
Okay.
You have done well, very well. You are quite articulate, you are confident, but you seem to be lacking a little bit of energy. So a little bit, see, you are 27-year-old, you are doing Danix already, you have got this thing. So a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy. That was, the panel was thinking a little bit of a young girl, you are absolutely. So that kind perhaps will be. It doesn't mean that you are all the time smiling and this thing. No, it's a great thing. I mean, you have the most important point, 30 minutes. So, anything else you want to ask us?
Sir, what energy point fine?
Energy point is a little. Your delivery is a little slow. You are a pontification. I mean, you are just probably you are not there, and you are a little bit. That gives an impression. Probably you are very much in there, but the impression given is your. I mean, not casual, but you are thinking, or just is not coming out with the confidence and the energy which is expected of you. You are already in Danix.
Yes, sir.
And you are this thing, you have taken maths, so you say confident young girl who is coming, pleasant. You are very pleasant, of course, no issue. And dress, etc., of course, you will be on that particular day, you will
Yes,
be
sir.
whatever is comfortable.
Sir, I'll wear sari only.
But if you are not comfortable in sari, don't wear.
Sir, I am very much comfortable today.
No, it doesn't
it was
matter.
early, so
Today you
I-
only practice.
Yes.
Whatever is comfortable on that day, so your mind should not be on the sari, pallu or something. No, don't. If you are comfortable, do it. If not, then whatever you are, like that. And otherwise, you are okay. I mean, you have done well. I mean, you should crack. I mean, you are already in Danix. So you should get it. This year you should get into the class 1 service. I mean, it could be of course anything, IAS, IPS, IFS, everything. But you should. This should be your year. I mean, you cannot linger on every year. You come and for nobody comes here for the self-satisfaction or improvement. You just a big bag. Just bag it. This is your year.
So, even like in the past interviews, I've gotten in the range of 160s only. So
Yeah, this will be, yes, I mean, you see, but this thing should aim for, you have ever appeared before EPSC? No, not so far, no?
Sir, I've given 2 interviews.
What was the last time you have got?
So 162, 165.
162, you must get one. You even never know your what you call written. So that you suppose 180 plus, that can really propel you further, no?
Yes, sir.
So that get into the difference between getting into maybe IPS and IAS and maybe income tax or something, no?
Yes, sir.
So that's why you must aim, least you should aim for is 180 plus. So that should be your aim. Otherwise you are 160, 155 to 60, you are there. Even today also will be there.
Yes, sir.
Except that little knowledge brush up you have to do, sir was saying. But you must, I mean, you should aim it. And all many things we didn't ask, of course, you know, economy and budget, everything, Punjab, all that Punjab problems, etc. All these things you must, I mean, don't put additional pressure on you. Whatever you're doing, do it well, do it gradually, do it nicely. Normal nutrition, normal your exercise, meditation, if you are doing meditation, little bit meditation, etc., etc., your training, etc. No need to take long leave or something, put additional pressure, whatever do it. But be in the moment and you will do it and you will crack it. This is your year.
Thank you,
You
sir.
must crack it this year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.